Okay, here's the question that we did, or one like it, and we did do it correctly. But the question is very, I don't know how you say it, not forthcoming on what it wants. All right. First of all, it wants the equation for the tangent line at those 2 points. Okay, write that down. This is the problem. Just write y is equal to 8x over x squared plus 1. All right, and it wants, I'll put right here, this question wants the equations for the tangent line at 0, 0 and what is it, -1, -1, -4. That's what it wants. It wants the equations for the tangent line at this point and this point. So the first thing you got to do is find the derivative. We did the derivative correctly. So let's redo the derivative. And you can do it with the quotient rule or the product rule. I really don't care. And here we go. Y is equal to 8x times x squared plus 1 to the -1 power. And I'm going to do the product rule. So y prime is equal to first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. And y prime (8x). I'm going to put parentheses around it because I got to put parentheses around this. And I'm going to use a pink pen. -1 parentheses x squared plus 1 to the -2 times 2x. Plus x squared plus 1 to the -1 times 8. And I'll put that in parentheses. And I'm going to take all 3 of these numbers. I'm going to use an orange pen. I'm going to take this term, and this term, and I'm going to put that together. And that's going to give me -18x squared times x squared plus 1 to the -2 plus 8 times x squared plus 1 to the -1. And I'm going to get a common denominator. Y prime is equal to -18x squared over x squared plus 1 to the second power plus 8 over
I have a question.
x squared plus 1 to the first. Yes, ma'am.
Where did you get 18?
Well, 16. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Okay.
Now it's where everybody's supposed to say, oh yeah, I thought that was it. Shut up. You should have said something. Who said that? Who brought that up? Who was that?
Nina.
Miss Brody, you did good. Thank you. I know there's some bubba out there. Yeah, I thought that was right, but I wasn't going to say anything. Shut up. All right, so that's supposed to be a 16. Okay, now I'm going to get a common denominator. Y prime is equal to negative 16x squared over x squared plus 1 quantity squared plus 8 times x squared plus 1 over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. So the common denominator I got, and I already fixed this numerator, so I got to distribute this. And I get y prime is equal to negative 16x squared plus 8x squared plus 8 over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. And that gives us negative 8x squared plus 8 over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. And that is the equation for the tangent line at any point on that curve. That's the first part. We got to that. Okay. I thought that's what they wanting, because the way the question is worded, I thought they was just wanting the derivative. That's not what they're wanting. That's the first part. This is the equation for the tangent line. Okay, so we got 2 points. We got 0, 0. So we're going to focus on the x because we got to plug in x for the first point and the second point. And I'm also going to draw a picture of this with your calculator. So y is equal to 8x, parentheses, 8x, close parentheses, divided by, parentheses, x squared plus 1, x squared plus 1, and close parentheses. And clear this and graph. Okay, there is our, and I'm going to zoom, fit is 0, I think. Okay, there's my line. They want that 0, 0 and negative 1. So negative 1 is right here. So I'm going to take my handy dandy line maker. Hold on a second. It should be coming up. There we go. I'm going to put a dot, make it a big magenta dot at negative 1 right there. And then another plot at 0, 0. Now, somebody tell me what the tangent line, and let me draw a tangent line. Is this the line maker? Nope. I'm going to draw a tangent line at this point. Really? Hold on. We'll draw a tangent line here. And somebody tell me, I'm going to make it crooked a little bit so you can see it. Somebody tell me what the slope is of that line. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So you know your answer is going to come out, the slope is going to be positive here. And this one right here, I can't tell, but I'm just going to draw a line there. And that's almost 0. That's almost a slope of 0. So it's going to be very shallow. Okay, so we're looking for the equation of this pink line right here. And we're looking for the equation for this pink line right here. That's the next step. Okay. Okay, now, of course, the question doesn't read that way. This question doesn't read that way at all, but that's what they want. So I'm going to take my handy dandy, get out of here, and I'm going to leave those lines right there so you remember. So here is our equation for our slope. Y prime is equal to negative 8 x squared plus 8 over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. And we want to find the 0 right here, this point right here, 0, 0, that point right there. The x right here is 0, and the y is 0 right there. So we're going to find the slope of this line right here. So the slope is going to be y prime of 0 is equal to negative 8 times 0 squared plus 8 over 0 squared plus 1 squared. And what does that give us? Y prime of 0. What's negative 8 times 0? 0 plus 8 is what? 8. 0 squared is 0 plus 1. 1 squared is 1. So the slope of this line right here, this pink line, is 8. So now we got to find the equation for this pink line, and I'm going to do that in pink. Y minus 0 is equal to 8 times x minus 0, using x and y. This is your x sub 1, this is your y sub 1. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to 8 times x minus x sub 1. Solve, you get y is equal to 8x. And that's what they're wanting. So the equation for that pink line, which is tangent to the original function at 0, 0, is y is equal to 8x. Now, does that question ask that? No. The question looks like it was written by a high school student that doesn't have a degree in mathematics. That's what it's not written. It should be written in several parts. Okay, now you do the next one. You do the next point. The next point is this point right here, and I think it was at what? Negative 1, negative 4. Have you ever tried to write without looking at your hand? That's really hard to do.
Yeah, it's not very easy.
Yeah, while you're watching yourself, it's very difficult.
It's harder while you're watching yourself do something like that on camera.
All right, yep, there. I want the equation for this pink line right here, so go to it. So I'm going to go to another page. I'm going to rewrite our derivative. Our derivative is y is equal to negative 8 x squared plus 8 over x squared plus 1 quantity squared. And our point is negative 1, comma, negative 4. So I'm going to plug in that negative 1. So y is equal to negative 8 times negative 1 squared plus 8 over parentheses negative 1 squared plus 1 squared. What's negative 1 squared? That's positive 1, right? And what's 1 times negative 8?
-8.
That's negative 8 plus 8 is what?
0.
And what's 1 plus 1? 2. 2 squared is 4. So what's the slope of this line that I said was very, very what? Horizontal. 0, Hubert.
0.
That's right. So y of negative 1 is equal to 0, or m is equal to 0. This is our x of 1, y sub 1, y minus 4, a negative 4, is equal to 0 times x minus a negative 1. Y plus 4 is equal to 0. Y is equal to negative what? And that is the equation for this line. Now, hold on a second. Where is y equal to negative 4? Well, let's go to this magenta and type in negative 4. It's a miracle. So, while we were doing that problem yesterday, we did it correctly. We just didn't finish it. Hold on, I'm trying to get somewhere. Is this a good question? No. The question is like 3 parts in 1 sentence. So, is the material testable? Yes. Would I give you this question? I probably would not, because this question, like I said, is not written by a teacher. This question is written by somebody that doesn't teach math. So I'm going to type in 3. Oh, the tangent at the curve at the origin is what? 8x? We get 8x for the first one. And the next is negative 4. Now again, I want to ask you a question. You got part A. What was part A, Hubert? Part A was actually finding the, hold on. I'm trying to show you something here so you'll remember on the test. Okay. This is part A. What did we find with part A? We found the what? The derivative. So part A, you have to find the derivative. So if you really want to take this question seriously, which is kind of hard to do because it's stupid, it should say, given the equation f of x is equal to 8x over x squared plus 1, A, find f prime of x. B, find equation of slope of tangent line at 0, 0. And C, find equation of tangent line at -1, -4. Now, why did I underline these two words? Anybody want to take a guess at why I underlined those two words? Because ever since algebra, you've been taught that whenever you see these words, you're going to have to use what equation? The intercept equation. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. You've been taught since algebra, when you see these words, you got to use this, and then that puts it all together. This right here is a joke of a question. So if you sent this question, you have every right to send it, because it should be written like that. If it was written like this, would it make a whole lot more sense to you? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to see, I can't remember who sent this question, but hopefully this makes more sense to you. Okay? So that question is not, it's a good test question like this, but it's not a good test question the way it's written.
Who are the communists who keep writing these questions?
Well, I'll tell you what happens. I'll tell you exactly what happens. The authors of the book or the teachers that help write these questions, they give it to a TA or a teaching assistant, and that teaching assistant has never taught a day in their life, gets these questions and writes them for the publisher. That's what happens.
Sounds about right.
You'll find out when you go to a research university and you've got a teaching assistant doing everything for the teacher, you'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on. I just did that problem that we did, so let's erase that one. That's number 51. So let me ask you, Miss Gammon, Miss Brody, does that help out?
Yeah, thank you.
Does it help out the way it was written after I wrote it out with 3 parts?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, I'm going to take that one out. These are some short questions right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do these questions right here. They're real short. They're not long. So this is 1.653/18. 1.653/18. I think we did this one, but I'm going to do it again because this is a business class, business calculus going. So the more you see it, the better. So C of X is equal to 730 plus 39x, which is not the way you write these equations. That's just Tide Pod math. 0.061x squared. Of course, I'm going to rewrite that because that's not the way you write an algebraic equation. C of x is equal to negative 0.061x squared plus 39x plus 730. And we want to get the average of cost. So that would mean divide everything by x. So I'm going to put a little pink highlight right here. So that means I'm going to divide each one of my terms by x. And that's going to give me negative 0.061x plus 39 plus 730 x to the negative 1. And now I'm going to do c hat prime of x. And yes, I'm putting those in there because I don't want to mess it up. So that's going to be 1 times negative 0.061 x to the 1 minus 1 plus 0 times 39 x to the 0 minus 1 minus 1 times 730 x to the negative 1 minus 1. And c hat prime is equal to negative 0.061 x to the 0 plus, and of course we all know what happens to constants when you take the derivative of a constant. It goes to 0. And then minus 730 over x squared. And that goes out. So there's your formula. C hat prime is equal to negative 730 over x squared minus 0.061. And that is your derivative of your average cost. And I need somebody to plug in, what was it, 175? Yeah, 175 belts. Plug that in. So we take our handy dandy calculator and we do 730. So parentheses, negative 730 divided by parentheses 175 to the second power, close parentheses. Oh, I hate these calculators sometimes. There. Close parentheses. So that says 730, negative 730 divided by 175 squared, and then minus 0.061. I got negative, so plug in x is equal to 175. We get negative 0.085. And that is dollars per belt. So you're losing money. You're losing money because there's a negative after 175 or whatever. The average cost is changing at around the 4 decimal places. What did we get? 0.0848. 0.0848 negative 0.0848 should be belts per dollar. Okay, dollars per belt, sorry. That's one of the two. Yep. So I know we did that one the other day also. Okay. I think we did one like this one also. I think it was toward the end of class. And the reason I'm doing these heavy ones or these 1.6, because these could be test questions. So this one is, I think that's that one, that one, that one, that one. 1.734/15. 1.7, 1.734/15. Okay, find dy dx. But there's a problem. Y is in terms of u, and u is in terms of x. So what do we got to do in order to get dy dx? What do we got to do? In order to get dy dx, and y is equal to the square root of u, and u is equal to x squared plus 9, what do we got to do? That means I want somebody to say something. Either I have no freaking idea, or what?
Substitute x squared plus 9 for u.
We got to put this in here, so y will be in terms of what? X, because that right there has to be, y has to be in terms of x. If this was du, dy du, then we could just take the derivative of this. But we can't, because we've got to have it in terms of x. So y is equal to the square root of x squared plus 9. Radicals and calculus don't mix. So y is equal to x squared plus 9 to the what? 1/2. Now use your chain rule. Take my handy dandy pink highlighter here. Take your chain rule and take the derivative of that. Miss Elrod, can you get back on to, where's Miss Elrod? Thought she was in here. Okay.
Here.
Okay. Can you get back into my lab's math now?
Yeah, it never didn't let me get in.
Okay. But they had you dropped.
Uh-huh. Well, I got an email.
Okay, well, I reinstated you either this morning or yesterday. I can't remember. And so they do drop you.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't me. I ain't gonna do it because that's too much paperwork. But these bureaucrats, there's people up here, that's all they live for. They don't care if it, throws you out of kilter, or they just drop you. Y prime is equal to 1/2 x squared plus 9 to the negative 1/2. And then what's the derivative of x squared?
2x.
Okay, calculus is done. Now simplify this. So dy dx, which is equal to y prime, is, well, that's going to cancel with that. So it's going to leave an x out front. X over the square root of x squared plus 9. Now, I like that question, but so that could be a test question. Real simple. I don't know if they're going to ask you for anything else. Let's see. Nope, there it is. Why do I like this one? Short and sweet. All right, next one. That's 34. 1.73717. 1.73717. Well, I can't click on it for some reason. 1.737/17. It's still not coming up. Thank you. All right, I'm going to let y'all do this one, the same type. Find dy dt. And y is equal to x squared minus 4x. And x is equal to t squared plus 3. Okay, you do this one. Same type problem, except instead of u, we've got x, and instead of whatever we had in u, we got x, we got t. So you got to get everything in terms of t. Did we find dy dt? Yeah, we did. Sure. I'm sorry, that was dy dx. Oh, we got to use some algebra. Y is equal to shortcut number 1, t to the 4th plus 6t squared plus 9 minus 4t squared minus 12. Y is equal to t to the 4th plus 2t squared. 9 minus 12 is -3. There, you've done your algebra. Now all you got to do is take the derivative. So dy dt, which is equal to y prime, is 4t to the 3rd plus 4t, and then that goes out. So that should be your answer. 4t to the 3rd plus 4t. You could factor out a 4t, and that would be t plus 4.
You have a work email.
So let's see what they get. 4t, parentheses, t plus 4. Okay. Oh, t squared. That's why it's wrong. T squared plus 4. Put a square here. T squared. There we go. Okay, I have no idea what the answer, or plus 1. Oh gosh. It would help if I had a little bit of communication, a little bit of help, but I know that's against the freaking Tide Pod law. So Tide Pod sit in a dark milk crate. or as my son says, the generation of dumbass. 137, that's gone. All right, 1.75922. 1.759/32. 22. I think it's another one like we just did, but no, well, no. The position of a particle moving along a coordinate line is S equal to 6t plus 45 to the 1/2 power. And T is, S is in meters and T is in seconds. Find the rate of change, particle's position at, find the slope of the particle's position at T is equal to 6. Find the slope. So that means we've got to find the derivative. So find the derivative and then plug in 6. So S prime is equal to 1/2 6t plus 45 to the negative 1/2. And somebody tell me what the derivative of 6t is.
6.
6. So 6 times 1/2 is 3. 6t plus 45 to the negative 1/2, or S prime is equal to 3 over the square root of 6t plus 45. Plug in a 6. S prime of 6 is equal to 3 over square root of 6 times 3. I'm sorry, 6 times 6 plus 45, 36, 81, square root of 81, 1/9, 3 over 9, 1/3. Okay. And since y'all are going to be silent, you're not going to ask any questions, I'm just going to keep on going. 1.81/6. 1.81/6. Okay, this is probably first, second, third derivatives. Yep. So what is the first, second, third derivatives? Well, in physics, the first derivative is the velocity, the second derivative is acceleration. Okay? In business, the first derivative in business, the first derivative gives you increasing and decreasing values, and the second derivative gives you inflection points. Okay, so on a graph, if you've got a graph in marketing and it's going like this, then the first derivative will give you the increasing and decreasing values. And it'll help you zero in on the what? The vertex. And the derivatives will give you the inflection point where the transition between this function, concave down and concave up, and this one, and maybe this one right here, like that, where the concave up ends and the concave down begins and ends, and where the concave up, these are inflection points right here. Inflection point, inflection point, inflection point. And your vertex, you can help find with the first derivative instead of doing all that algebra that you learned with the vertical and horizontal shifts and all that. So that's where this is going, first, second, third. Where really you don't need past the second, but they want you to learn how to do all of them. So in this case, it is y equal to negative 7x to the 8th minus 1. And the way that you write double prime is you can do dy dx for your first, or y prime, and that's going to be 8 times 7, 56, I think it is, 56x to the 7th. That's your first derivative. And then your second derivative would be d prime y over dx, or you put a double, sorry, d double prime, and or y double prime, and that's going to be equal to some BA number, 392. Somebody help me out. 393. What is 412? What is 7 times 392 or 412? What is 7 times 56?
392.
392x to the 6th. So there's your first derivative, and there's your second derivative. And that's all you're doing in 1.8 is finding multiple derivatives, which actually is a pretty good drill for the power rule, because that's all you do over and over and over. Well, I got plenty of time. All right, next. Let's see if we're right. I'm not. I'm just going to hit 3. And 392 x to the 6th. And nobody's asking any questions, so that means y'all understand it. 1.829/17. 1.829/17. And find fourth derivative. Y is equal to 2x to the 5th. Y prime is equal to 10x to the 4th. Y double prime is equal to 40x to the 3rd. Y triple prime is equal to 120x to the 2nd. And y to the 4th prime is equal to 240x. $240x. Dang old Datsun, dang old Nissan. And just to let you know, I have to tell my son the 240X and the 280ZX and the 300ZX was way here before any of y'all were here. He said, oh, that's a new car. No, it ain't new. It was around in the 80s. Each generation thinks something is new, and it's not. It's been around for 50 years. Except Tide Pods. Tide Pods they haven't been around 50 years. All right, 1.8, 35, 19. 1.8, 35, 19. See what this one says. Okay, the function s of t is equal to 5t squared plus 5t. And they want you to find the velocity and the acceleration, first and second derivative. And then they want you to plug and chug when t is equal to 4. So go ahead and do that. A, they want the velocity function, which is equal to s prime of t. And then B, they want the acceleration function, which is the velocity derivative of the velocity, which is the double derivative of the original equation. Excuse me. So the derivative of this function is 10t plus 5. And the derivative of that function is what? 10. So when x is equal to, what was it? What did they tell us to set equal to? 4. When x is equal to 4, s prime of t, s prime of 4, is equal to what? 45? When x is equal to 4, it don't matter what this is, because you're going to get what? S double prime of 4 is what? Doesn't matter. It's going to be 10 no matter what. So the first one is 45, the second one is 10. Well, I guess I could type it in. It's real short. So what is it? 10t plus 5, 10t plus 5. And then the second function is 10. And then the velocity is 45. And that would be feet per second, because when you're doing the velocity, that's in feet per second. But when you do acceleration, that's going to be 10, and that's feet per second squared. And that's all of 1.8 questions. So let's go back up the totem pole. Take that one off. And I'll go back up the other direction. 1.63/6. 1.63/6. First of all, is it a test question? Well, this product rule and quotient rule, and it's not a dorky question like some of these homeworks do, then that's a test question. Now they want you to do the product rule first and then do algebra, or algebra first and then do, I don't care which one you do. F of x is equal to x minus 5 times 5x plus 1. The first thing says use product rule. Okay, do the product rule. So A, I'm just going to do the product rule. Here we go. First times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. And that's equal to x minus 5. Somebody give me the derivative of 5x, please.
5.
Thank you, sir. I know you're stepping out on a limb. I appreciate it. I appreciate your daringness. Thank you.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
It's probably my son waiting out in the rain in front of West Side. DSS is probably with him. And what is the derivative of x minus 5?
One.
What is the derivative of x minus 5?
1.
And you're going to get 5x minus 25 plus 5x plus 1. 5x plus 5x is 10x. Negative 25 plus 1 is negative 24. And that is using the product rule, f prime of x. Now I'm not going to check it because I'm going to see what I get when I do B, and that is doing the FOIL method first. So that's going to be x times 5x is 5x squared. Outside, you have to say outside, Mr. Bostic, because if you don't say outside, you'll get some student that goes, I don't know what outer means. So you have to say outside. X times 1 is 1x. Inside is negative 25x. And last is negative 5. And that's going to give us 5x squared minus 24x minus 5. And somebody, what's the derivative of 5x squared? 10x, Hubert. Thank you. And what's the derivative of negative 24x? Lord, it's a miracle. $10x minus 24. I'm not playing their game right here. 10x minus 24 is your answer. I don't understand how they get 5 possible answers out of this. 10x minus 24. Can somebody tell me what the answer is? I have no clue.
I think you plug something into D, if I remember it right, but I don't know what.
Stop, Joe Biden.
X minus 5 times 5. Oh, they're doing the quotient, the power rule with you. Times 1. Oh my Lord. I'm not doing all that. 5x squared, 24x minus 5. There. Okay. That's 1.63. That takes care of those two. 1.627. 1.627 slash, where'd it go? 1.627 slash 11. 1.627 slash 11. That could be a test question. I think we did one like this. 9x minus 4 over 7x plus 8 plus x to the third, and that's f of x. All you got to concentrate on is this, because you can take the derivative of this pretty much any time. Denominator, f prime of x equals denominator times numerator prime minus the numerator times denominator prime all over the denominator squared. And what is the derivative of x to the third? 3x squared. Now you can focus on this. So f prime of x is equal to 7x plus 8. What's the derivative of 9x minus 4, please?
Nine.
Thank you. Nine x minus 4. And somebody give me the derivative of 7x plus 8.
7.
And what do y'all know about calculus and algebra now? What have we just done, and what do we have to do?
Just simplify.
We just did the calculus. Now you have to do what to simplify?
The algebra.
You just got to do the algebra. So get to it. I'll give you a minute. We ain't got much time. I'm going to try to get through another couple of problems because they're short. I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. Well, I can't do that because I got to wait until I stop the recording, turn off the share screen. Well, no, I don't. I can go over to this TV screen over here if they hadn't locked me out. Urgh! Sorry. There's the Angelic Initiative. If you've never watched the Angelic Initiative, you need to watch it. These people are crazy. Reminds me of a girl I dated one time. All right. I got to go over here. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Nope, they done kicked me out of Firefox too. I hate Tri-County.
So do I.
I mean, I don't hate Tri-County because of the teachers and students. I hate Tri-County because of the stupid things we have to do. Let me go back into Firefox. And then I gotta send myself another confirmation code. It's ridiculous.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
986-120. Every time we sign in, we have to do that. Can you believe that? The computer don't save it and say, okay, you know, this is the same person. Every single time we have to sign in. Every single time. Why won't it let me? This is 130. There we go. All right. Louisiana's here. Glass is not here. Bostic is here. Brody is here. Brooks is here. Davis and Elrod. Cook. Davis. That is really weird. Miss Davis and Miss Elrod, there is a store that's right near where I grew up, and it was called Davis and Elrod, and it's just been tore down, and y'all's name is right beside each other. That's really weird. Davis and Elrod. Anyway, Franklin, Gammon, Gregory, Harrison, Humphreys, Gregory, Harrison, Humphreys, Isett, Jones, Kelly, Kraft, Crawl, Lorette, Lynch, Lynch,
It'll be in effect until
and turn your mute down, please. Moselle, Parker, Moselle, Parker, Patel, Smith, Verbitsky, Watson. Smith, Verbitsky, and Watson. Okay, that's done. Ain't got to worry about that now. All right, so here's our problem. And I'm going to go ahead and do 9 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63. X plus 72 minus, and 7 times 9 is 63x. Minus 7 times negative 4 is plus 28. Plus 3x squared over, well, this is over 7x plus 8 quantity squared. The 63s cancel. 72 plus 28 is what? Is that 100?
Yes.
So I get 100 over 7x plus 8 squared plus 3x squared. Now that is not a common denominator, so I can't add that 3x squared unless I do a denominator, which I don't see no use in that, but that's what, you can go further with this is what I'm saying, and I'm not going to. See what they got. I wouldn't doubt if they didn't get a common denominator. No, they didn't. There's the answer. Okay. All right. Next question. Let's see if I got any. Let's see. Class is over at 3:55. Let's see if we can squeeze one more out. Because isn't y'all's test? Did I put y'all's test up? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'll probably put it up after today so some of y'all can start working on it. Because I know some of y'all are ready to start working on it. That's 27, so I can take that one off and that one off. 1.625/10. 1.625/10. And I'm going to get you started on it, and then I'm going to have to cut out. All right, g of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3 and times 7x plus x to the 1/2. And I'll start you off with the product rule, and I'm not going to do the algebra, but I'm going to do the product rule with you. So g prime of x is equal to first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first and what is, well, g prime of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3. Somebody tell me what the derivative of 7x is. 7. And what is the derivative of x to the 1/2? 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. Plus 7x plus x to the 1/2. And what is the derivative of 7x squared?
14x.
And now you're ready. The calculus is done. Now you're ready. You need to simplify this a little bit. Maybe say 1/2 square root of x. That's what I would do. So I'm going to rewrite this. G prime of x is equal to 7x squared plus 3 times 7 plus 1/2 square root of x. That might make things simpler for you. I don't know. Plus 7x plus x to the 1/2 times 14x. And now you can use your algebra to simplify it and put everything together. Okay, guys, you have the weekend. I'm going to leave the test and questions open for Tuesday, past Tuesday, so you can still work on the test after Tuesday. We're going to go over the test Tuesday. I'll leave it open for a couple of days. Is that fair? And that way, people that want to work on it this weekend, you can work on it this weekend. Y'all have a good weekend. I got to go pick up DSS and my son.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Let's see, who is that? Oh, Miss Glass. I got to pick mine up too. Okay, see y'all. Does anybody have any questions? Miss Brody, you good?
I'm good. Thank you. Have a good
Mr. Lafayette, you good?
Thank you.
Okay. See y'all. Send questions for Tuesday. Bye-bye.